Oh my goodness, everybody. Well, this is a Tuesday. This feels like a Friday.
You know, it kind of,
it's interesting,
now that you say that.
Which is always a good thing for sure. That's a good problem to have.
Absolutely.
Welcome back, everybody. Of course, Nathan Lowe is here, the Indy Dog Whisperer.
Watching the cameras.
What is that?
They're moving.
Is Popeye. Popeye, right?
This is Popeye.
This is Popeye. How old is Popeye?
Popeye's 2 years old from Greenfield Hancock Animal Management. He is missing. He just has one eye, so he has a little depth perception issue. I was running him outside, and I went down the side of the building, and he went that way and smacked his face on the pillar and shook it off and kept running.
Popeye, yeah, you're okay. Well, this is an interesting topic because you're talking about height and how that affects them, right? It's all about the elevation.
It is, and you know what? I think Justin Bieber may have said it best. He said, "Ain't about the complications. It's all about the elevation." So thank you, Justin. Thank you, Justin, for that. So I think, first of all, understanding what elevation means to a dog. Dominant dogs will always seek heights, and you will see that happen all the time. They will try to get to high ground, and that's because higher ground equals it's more assertiveness, authority, and power. Exactly. So that is important to them. Now, I know for me, I'm tall, and I was talking to Randy about this earlier. We're tall people, and when I walk in with a dog and the dog's head's down here, immediately there's a reaction to that. So if I can get lower, and we'll talk about that in just a second, it helps the dog that's a little more submissive feel more comfortable. Is it on your
level?
It's closer to their head level, which is why dogs often will jump, or even a dominant dog will jump up and paw to get his head up near your head. Exactly. It's something that's super crucial for them and equals authority. So I always recommend you institute elevation rules, what I call elevation rules at home, which means no couch if you're in the room, because they'll try to elevate. I watch dogs disregard their owners.
Not be on the couch.
No. Now I know this causes a big wah for a lot of people. However, if you're having behavioral issues, especially with your dog, you got to get them ground level for the respect factor of you being up higher. Bed, never. I never let a dog sleep in the bed ever, because 2 reasons. One, it's usually the highest place in your house.
Yeah.
2, they're sleeping on top of your scent, and they will claim your scent, and if it is a more dominant dog, they will go after other dogs and people all the time.
Really?
And that is the primary reason they do it. So if I can get a dog removed from a bed, my job is half done usually.
Is this a tough one? Because I know lots of people who are like,
well,
Nathan, wait a minute.
Absolutely.
My dogs are more comfortable on my bed.
But I just had a client the other day that listened to me on this. Their dog came after me during the first consultation. After taking him out of the bed, I came back, and it just wagged its tail and took a look at me like, hey, how's it going? No more claim of them. So it's interested in socializing now. It's amazing how effective it is. I say, if you have emotional needs, make sure people meet them for you, but do what's right by the species.
And you're doing it for them. I know
it's for their peace.
Like, my poor baby, she wants to sleep with me, but you're actually helping
It's for their peace of mind, so they can calm down and have a more peaceful life. Because I see a lot of homes in turmoil from the dog reacting, the people don't know what's going on. Get the dog out of the bed, get the dog down at the ground level.
These are so interesting.
Now, Randy talked about, I heard Randy say something earlier about getting, do I have to crawl on the ground?
Yeah,
well, you know what?
For
submissive dogs that get intimidated by height, yes, it is. I pop down onto my knees, and when I get on my knees, right away the ears drop, the tail gets more comfortable. I have actually laid on the ground at the shelter for dogs that are so terrified they won't even come out. And when I lay flat, then they'll kind of crawl out because I'm now below their head level and they don't feel any threat at all. So you do utilize lower elevation for dogs that are more terrified or more submissive. But for dominant dogs, you need to retain your height. It's really, really important.
This, I feel like, would be especially important if you are a dog parent of a foster dog, perhaps, who had been through a difficult situation.
Yes, it is important. Now, with this guy, for instance, with Popeye, when I laid on the ground, he just threw his shoulder on top of me, and I had to heave him off and say, we're not doing that. So you got to kind of regulate at which point they're going to respond, if that makes sense.
Oh, he's such a cute dog. Okay, anything else that you would like to leave us with before we get to one of those viewer questions from earlier?
Just that, I tell people, if you really love a dog, you'll do what's best for the dog when it's not comfortable for you. That's what it means to really love something, and to really help them and give them peace of mind, you need to get them in a place of being a listener rather than the one in authority.
Doing what's best for them.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, Nathan, thank you so much for that. Okay, so we want to turn on over to a viewer question that we got submitted here into our Facebook page. This is Beth of Carmel. Beth is asking, All right, Nathan, our dog seems to know the rules while inside, but once he's outside, all bets are off. Is establishing rules outside different than doing it inside?
That is a really, really good question. It is a little bit different, and that's because inside you have stronger scent from people, and dogs are scent-based. They claim scent, and that's their family scent. Outside, it's a little more diluted. So outside, you see more territorial behavior rather than scent claiming. So with that, there are certain rules I institute. If a dog won't stop barking at a fence, I get between the fence and them and run them off the fence and say, What I'm telling them is, I'm responsible to claim the territory. You're my backup, but you don't take primary. Because a dog will just react all day long to everything that goes by. Some dogs will do this. And Patty with Stewie was doing this when I was over there one time. I was like, hey, Patty, this is what Stewie. And she said, so it's just common issue for dogs being territorial. You got to take over the fence line. That's the most important thing on an outside.
So interesting. Thank you so much for all the information. Thank you, Popeye.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Popeye. You did so well. And again, if you guys have a question or concern about your dog that you would like to maybe ask Nathan, you can simply head on over to our Facebook page right now, leave a comment that you may have, and he will answer it just like he did right now during one of his segments live right here on Indy Style.
And Popeye's available for adoption. Don't forget that.
Popeye is available for adoption. Popeye, you need a good home, don't you, buddy? Yes, you do. Yes, you do.